Why was Sam wearing gloves and Hugh wasn't?
I don't have any profound thoughts on acting at all.
I feel like I'm on a date.
Side by sundial. But I'm making shit up as I go along. To create this character, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. It's been a real journey for me, an absolute blessing. And to be able to have India come into this world and share this world with her has been phenomenal for me. I think it's so wonderful to kind of embrace the next generation and give them the platforms to be able to, shine and do their way of storytelling. And I love that this character that has been a big part of my life for so long is now a big part of your life. Do you know what I mean? I think that's, I'm vibing that big time, mate.
But that's so nice. I think a lot of people can gatekeep characters sometimes and can get a bit funny of, or you're stepping into my shoes. You've never, ever once, I've never felt that from you. You've only given to me and it's only been positive.
That's showbiz. I love it when we see each other on set. Like India will have a scene before early in the day, and I'll have one in the afternoon, and we literally we're like, yes, mate. Do you know what I mean? Passing each other, handing the baton on.
Yeah,
it's great. It's a good vibe.
It's really It feels like genuine support.
100%, babe. 100%, man.
I mean, I watched the first 2 seasons, and then I got on a phone call with Adjoa because there is something important in creating a cohesive character. While it is its own show, there is still a storyline. It is important to respect the work that has come before me. It's the reason that the character even exists with how much weight and depth that she has. And so, there was a lot that I drew upon from the content that was already out there. Made by Madam Andoh.
I watch him in Bridgerton and I copy everything he does.
I haven't seen anything he's done. And I never intend to.
We had a conversation at the read-through.
We did. But I don't know if I just said it's yours. Do what you like.
Because there's not much to go on.
Sam has complete independence. He can do whatever he likes. It's his story. And when we did the read-through and he was so good, I just went, oh, good. I can. not that I didn't think it, but you just kind of went, he's in safe hands. You get incredibly fond of these characters. A friend did say when he saw who was playing the young Brimsley that the series they wanted to see just what turned Sam into me. And so that could be another spin-off.
So if you'd all like that, campaign.
I've just had a conversation with Corey in the tent about how he was doing my part, and I said, how are you doing the mad stuff? He said, well, I'm sort of doing what you do. It's kind of like preoccupied and occasionally outbursts of crossness or something. I said, yeah. And I said, what percentage of the part is mad? He said, it's about 10% a bit mad, and then 90% apologising for something he's done.
I see what he does in terms of this sort of almost like he's entrenched in his own version of reality, and it's not a sort of vague madness. It's a very specific, I know the truth. And the way that he does that, is like these very subtle sort of mumbling.
So what size we think about here? All right, let's see what it is, and we'll have to lower that a little bit so it doesn't hide it as much, but a nice frame for that.
Yeah,
so
I'll just be in the middle.
Tom originally, he called us down and said, hey, you should come and watch them, just see what we're doing. Kind of forgot that we were supposed to be seeing what we were doing and just going, wow, this is incredible. This is how they turn up, and then going, oh my gosh, I'm actually having to play this character. I should probably go and do my job.
Queen Charlotte under her own bed. Soon her husband will arrive.
And then when Tom said, we're going to be intercutting between you guys, so I'm going to work with James, you're going to work with Golda, come and have a look. It was super weird. It was like looking at yourself or your character in the future and going, that's how they end up, which is so crazy.
I said to Tom Verica, who was the director, I said, I want to be in the edit room when you do this scene, because that's going to be like fireworks, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That coherence, we absolutely have to have that coherence, because if I'm a viewer and I've given you my time and my energy watching Bridgerton, don't be trying to confuse me with something out of left field on Queen Charlotte. I expect some coherence. But, what's fabulous about Queen Charlotte is you draw the curtain back and you go, oh, what were they like? How did they get to be? What? So that's kind of what's going on in the show, is it's like, let me take you back.
You tune into this and you see them young and happy at various points. I mean, I know there's trouble along the way. You see them young and happy, but you know where it ends up. And as an actor, that's such a gift because it allows you to really lean into every moment. You know, if there's a happy moment, if there's a joyous moment, if there's a free moment, you can really let go into that.
Working with Golda's lovely, actually, and every scene we do is profoundly moving in some sort of level. I never think of myself as being an important person in history when I'm doing it. I think of myself as being just a husband who's lost the plot a bit. And you sort of feel this thing coming through. There's like a mist where you see their previous relationship and it kind of like goes again. So trying not to cry a lot of the time. It's the scenes as well. It's not her fault. It's the scenes we're in.
I like to see the India's wigs. Do you know what I mean? I like to see, like, you know, how it's kind of evolved to.
It's getting bigger.
I know. The massiveness, do you know what I mean, on Bridgerton, or even, you know, our side of the story on QC. I'm like, wow, okay, babe, you started off like this, and now, like, what happened to you? Obviously, something happened that you had to go, I want bigger wigs and heavier wigs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that journey. It'd be nice to see when it's out. It's like, that's what I'll be looking at.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, the tracking.
My imagination's rubbish compared to Shonda Rhimes's, because the backstory I created was far more boring than the one she's done. So I kind of devoured the script because I find out who he is.
I remember you saying to me you were really cautious about doing research because this is Shonda's reimagining of history. It's not a historical show. We're not creating a documentary.
It's true, yeah.
So you know, you don't want that to inflict character, because she is just very different, and a lot of things that are in the show are similar to what had happened in history, but with Shonda's spin. So
yeah, absolutely, it's a spin on it, isn't it? Shonda's spin. That's so cool.
It's really important, the relationship that you see of the newly arrived at court queen and the newly established Lady D, because they share things with each other, or certainly the Queen shares things with young Agatha that wouldn't be shared anywhere else. I think the intimacy and the vulnerability and precarity of their relationships in the wider court and how they need to lean on each other for safety in that way is something that is established really early on, and you see that in Queen Charlotte. And for me, it adds this sort of rich texture of understanding of who those characters are later on.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point, because I think at the beginning it is transactional. When they realize that the transaction is not even worth it, but friendship is so much more priceless, that is when you see a shift, I think, to something that is more emotionally based. And I think that's where, like, the audience finds them in Bridgerton, like, period. It's like it's actually more of a friendship, while as back then it was something that was clouded in suspicion, because they were almost thrown together out of necessity and out of look.
And yeah, absolutely. Your brand.
Exactly.
Get together.
Yeah.
An older Lady Danbury feels incredibly protective over that relationship. And the fact that, because of what happened to younger Lady Danbury, has very clear ideas about marriage and its benefits or otherwise. But she sees in that marriage, that deep love marriage between George and Charlotte, something that she wants to protect and revere.
That's a great answer, yeah.
She's all right, isn't she?
Yeah. Fucking tour de force.
Not bad.
I'm happy. You happy?
Yeah,
I'm
very, babe. Yeah.
Well done.
Well done. Whoa! What a day. What a day, what a day, what a day.
Where do I go now?
Thank you.